Hey, I'm Duke on Twitch. If you want to support the channel and greensunzenith.com, you can find my Patreon, merch store, and singles store where you can buy singles through TCG Player or Card Hoarder in the video description. If you want to get in contact, you can also find all that info in the description below for things like donation deck lists or just wanting to reach out. Alright, let's get right into it. Hey team, welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with a donation deck list from patron Joe. Joe has been a huge supporter of the channel for a few months now, probably before that, but really cool to get some lists from him. This time it is Green-White Maverick with a Stoneforge build and some new cards that I actually haven't tried out myself yet. Two of those cards include Wilson Refined Grizzly, which is 1 and a green for a 2/2 legendary creature Bear Warrior, and then it has actually a lot of text. It's kind of like a mini questy beast in that the spell can't be countered. It has Vigilance, Reach, and Trample, and also Ward 2. So it's actually very hard to remove, especially for a deck like Blue-Red Delver. If they pass with a land open for something like Lightning Bolt or Daze, and you play Wilson Refined Grizzly, they're not bolting this until turn 3. That bolt's also costing 3 mana, which is pretty sweet. So although I don't think it's great by itself, I think it's very good in a build-around deck where you can, of course, maybe get it out of bolt range, or potentially make it a creature that can block popular flyers like DRC without actually dying itself. So say Wilson with a sort of Fire and Ice, or Wilson with a Jide is pretty punishing for a lot of decks. It can also be saved by Karakas, which is nice. Obviously it costs Karakas and 2 for your opponents to return it to your hand. So Wilson, I think, is a really cool 2-drop. Something that Maverick has kind of been wanting for a long time. Maybe Fiend Hunter is a card that is going to take that slot, but for now, there's a lot of practice and testing around that sort of slot. So I think Wilson's pretty cool. The other card is King Darien Number. King Darien is 1, a green, and a white. It's a legendary human soldier and is a 2/3. Other creatures you control get +1/+1. So straight away, King Darien is a lord for all creatures, which is nice. And then for 5 mana, 3, a green and a white, you can put a +1/+1 counter on King Darien and create a 1/1 white soldier creature token. So it is quite nice as late game mana sink. And then you can also sacrifice King Darien to give creature tokens you control hexproof and indestructibility until end of turn, which might come up with Batterskull, potentially with Kaldra, with something like Prismatic Ending. So pretty keen to see how King Darien goes. The other card in here that I want to talk about is Esper Sentinel. Esper Sentinel is kind of taking the role of Mother of Runes here, where you're hopefully looking to gain some sort of card advantage off Esper Sentinel. And I think Esper Sentinel into Thalia is a really nice line for this deck. It can really punish your opponent with how they want to sequence spells, any that miss land drops, of course, and just generally being a creature that benefits us from being able to build it up. So something like if we go turn 1 Esper Sentinel, and then turn 2 Noble Hierarch, attack for 2, and then cast another spell. The Sentinel gaining the extra point of power from Exalted is actually pretty relevant because it is ways to make it harder for your opponent to play around the Sentinel draw effect. So Sentinel should be pretty cool. I do like Mother of Runes in Stoneforge Mystic builds, especially with some of the higher equipment cards like Kaldra Complete, as ways to just make sure that Kaldra's coming into play. But in a deck with Cradle and a lot of creatures to obviously put on the board, I don't think Kaldra is going to be stuck in our hand as long as something like Death and Taxes that just has to naturally get to 7 mana. I think we have a few other ways to put in Kaldra off the first Stoneforge, whether that's Stoneforge 2 and 3, or getting to a stage where Cradle can just open up that line. So that'll be pretty interesting. The rest of the deck is pretty light on Green Sun's targets, which isn't a bad thing. We have 3 Endurance and 3 Knight, which are probably just the main go-tos right now as multiple Green Sun targets. And then we also have Ramanap and Outland Liberator as one-ofs, just to either recur things like Canopy or Wasteland, and then Outland Liberator, just good value against the decks that you want it against, things like 8 cast, lands, Death and Taxes, so pretty cool to see that. The mana base is really nice. Double forest, double plains. This is probably my favorite part of playing around with green-white is the mana base. I know when Tom Herzog played the deck a little while back, maybe the end of last year on MTG, he's actually playing with 5 basics. I believe 3 forest, 2 plains, which is really, really nice. Especially in a metagame if you expect things like Blood Moon or back to basics. Being able to play out pretty much all your spells then, even Green Suns for 3 or 4 off just basics is really nice. 3 Savannas to get off the Windsor Peace and Misty Rainforest. And then just Blast Zone. Blast Zone I think is a great addition for green-white because you don't have a great way to deal with go wide strategies. Plague Engineer for Black Splashes and things like Fiery Confluence or Punishing Fire allows you to control boards in the red splash. And Blast Zone just generally nice. Even against something like Delver, being able to take out both a Delver and a DRC with Blast Zone is really cool. And allows us to kind of just increase the power of Knight in that it's not just a way to fix mana. It's not a way to just, draw a card off Canopy. It's not a way to just wasteland your opponent out of the game. It's now also a removal spell, which is pretty sweet. So pretty keen to see how Blast Zone goes in this league. And then the board is really nice and tight as well. 3 Deafening Silence for combo. 3 Force of Vigor, obviously just a card you really want to see in the matchups where it's really good. The sort of turn 0 plays of taking out something like a Mox Diamond and a Saga, or being able to interact with 8 Mulch or 8 Cast before they go too wide is really, really powerful. So I do really like the Force of Vigors. 3 Path, obviously giving your opponent a basic is pretty rough, but having a removal spell that costs 1 white and deals with anything from Delver to Martlage to Murktide Regent is just really nice. Delver's been running around with around 1 to 2 islands, and against Wasteland decks, sometimes they go for the islands early on post board, so you could get to a position where by pathing their first creature, they don't even have a basic left in the deck. So I think Path is really strong. Obviously not great against decks like Death and Taxes if you wanted to deal with, say, a turn 1 Mother of Runes, but hopefully that doesn't come up. Collect Oof in the board, just a really nice way to deal with any sort of Storm decks or 8-cast. Generally good against other Stoneforge Mystic decks. Not in the main deck here because it does interact with our own artifacts to some extent, but obviously really want it in the 75. The 4th Endurance, just really our only way to deal with graveyard decks on turn 0, and just a great threat against Delver, against Control, against the other Knight decks. Can really make combat math different because being able to shrink their Reclaimers and Knights to X2s can really hurt. Thrun Last Troll. Thrun is a card that hasn't seen a lot of play recently. I think the biggest reason is Dress Down. Dress Down just kind of makes all creatures not that great, and Thrun just doesn't really give any value when it comes down. Questing Beast attacks, Shifting Ceratops can attack, and obviously Protection from Blue and Reach is pretty great against a metagame with things like Murktide and Delver. Lion Sash is also graveyard hate that we can find through Stoneforge Mystic, which is nice, so I could potentially see this coming in against decks that make some small amounts of value from graveyards, maybe like a Bant Loam deck. And then just another threat is really nice as well. And then to close it out, we have Sword of Fire and Ice. Just another value card, probably for matchups where I want to go down on Kaldra Completes and Batterskulls, and just play kind of a lower to the ground game where I can also make all my creatures threats. It's really nice in a equipment build that in the mid to late game, your Noble Hierarchs, which have given you an early advantage through mana acceleration, become actual threats thanks to these equipment pieces, and might even make our opponent use things like Swords to Plowshares on the Noble Hierarchs instead of the actual threats in the deck, just because they don't want to deal with us getting some sort of advantage of the equipment. So pretty cool to run this through. I think on first thought, I'm happy just to take this deck through a league and see how it performs. Just obviously some small things that I'll probably change is maybe like a Birds of Paradise as a mana dork. It's just nice to have a flyer in the deck for a chance where you might need to just buy a turn against a Murktide or a Martlage. But otherwise, yeah, this deck looks cool. King Darren, I think, has a lot to prove, because it doesn't I wouldn't say it really... There's no poor matchup that I think King Darian straight away goes, oh, he solves this matchup. I think Maverick has a great grind plan, and that's what this card does. But let's see how it goes, because, you know, theory and looking at things on paper can be vastly different to how they actually perform in a format. So let's see how this goes. If you guys like this content, definitely consider subscribing to the channel and liking this video, and comment below if you are currently running green-white, if you think this deck should be playing other Green Suns targets. Let me know in the comments. We'll see you in round 1. Thanks. Welcome to round 1. Sadly, this hand is just a mulligan. There's no real mana, so that's a pretty clear one. This is a great hand. We have the Dryad Arbor to put back because it's obviously a little bit awkward being one of our land drops. And we also have the once, which is great. So we get turn 1 Noble Hierarch, and then based on what we're up against, we can either go for a Stoneforge Mystic or Thalia. So really happy to keep this. Alright, Prismatic Ending straight away shows me that this is going to be probably a blue-white X matchup, so Thalia is going to be the card that I want to go with, and Karakas here is really nice because it means we can, once for free, land, turn 1 Noble Hierarch, turn 2 Thalia, and then play Karakas to protect Thalia, so pretty happy with this. I think I would like another threat here. Let's have a quick look. I could take the second Thalia, just in case if they force this one. But otherwise it would be semi-dead in my hand because we have the Karakas to protect it. The Noble's quite nice as well, as just a way to keep ramping out mana. So if we go turn 1 Noble, turn 2 Thalia, hold up Karakas, untap, we'll have access to 1, 2, 3 mana. We can then Stoneforge. I don't mind second Thalia. I think Thalia is going to be relevant against the Prismatic Vista deck. Just going to get a Savannah here as well. Not too scared of Blood Moon or any effects like that. Next turn I'm also going to play the Thalia before playing the Karakas, because my opponent might allow the Thalia to resolve if they have removal in hand, and then that plan might just go to poop if they see the Karakas. Alright. The only downside... no, actually, I was going to say downside of not playing Karakas and then attacking with the Noble is then we can't actually hold up the Thalia, so... Wow, it just sticks. Pretty happy with that. That also keeps something like a Teferi off the board here. This is fine. Another Stoneforge makes me going for Kaldra here a lot more appealing. Let's attack first. I like that Kaldra really puts pressure on my opponent having another removal spell, and then having an additional one for the next Stoneforge. So it's going to be Jeskai. And all the basics here makes me think of Back to Basics main deck, but hopefully not. Snapcaster, Prismatic Ending. Alright, you got it. So now we have some options. I could Green Suns for 2 and tap off the Karakas, but there's nothing great to get. I'm happy to just keep playing my lands, and most likely here, just play the other Stoneforge, and go and get Jitte. I can't Green Suns for Dryad Arbor here without tapping off the Karakas, so I'm just going to pass. Supreme Verdict, potentially? Wow, main deck Ruination. Okay. Nice. That's what we want. Just in case of like Snapcaster Ruination, I'm just gonna get a Forest here. Put Kaldra into play. They take it. Okay. Must have Supreme Verdict? Jace bounce the token? Okay. I don't mind attacking both at Jace. If they Snapcaster block the Mystic to trade, at least the Thalia kills Jace. And my plan here is most likely to play Esper Sentinel, just to get another creature into play. Could also see Green Suns for Dryad Arbor to build up my mana, because Sentinel most likely isn't doing a whole lot here. Quick think. No, I kind of like Sentinel. Green Suns only gets better as the game goes longer. What are we playing around at instant speed? Not too sure. I think I just jam everything at Jace here. Like potentially Hull Breacher, but that's fine. Wow, that's odd. Did not expect that. I think here I am just going to Green Suns for Dryad Arbor. Interesting, they're not hard casting it, so they actually have something else to do here. Okay, that's fine. They're down to 0 cards. And we now have the second backup Thalia as well, which is quite nice. Stoneforge a pretty nice find there. Nothing really for us, unfortunately. I could Green Suns for Noble Hierarch and then attack the Jace with Esper Sentinel. But that only puts it down to 1. It does turn the Knight on though, in a way. I think that's just going to be the play. Definitely a tough matchup. Maverick traditionally against Jeskai is pretty tough. A deck that has things like Supreme Verdict or Terminus. A lot of really good creature hate in Swords to Plowshares or Prismatic Ending as well. I think we're just going to get a basic and play Night Out. Which does block the Batterskull pretty well, but they most likely have an out down the line. It's also hard having Jace on the field when they're at 5. Like, we're so close to killing them, but Jace is just something I have to respect. This is cool though, I haven't seen the old school Stoneforges. Not sure if they're new. Honda chose not to shuffle. Right. Snap Swords is pretty good here. I think we're just going to concede there. We don't have a great out to this current board. I think we can save our time for games 2 and 3. Quick think. I like the Endurance. I like the Ceratops. I like the Sword and the Thrun. I don't mind the Lion Sash. Because we don't have great ways to protect Stoneforge, I don't mind dropping the Caldra here. They have a lot of good outs to the token as well. And unlike D&T, we don't have favourable outs like Flickerwisp or Yorion. Happy to drop a Wasteland as well, and probably a Noble Hierarch, given that they're a most likely Terminus or Supreme Verdict tech. Outland Liberator is still strong. Darren's definitely interesting. I'm not sure if I want it for this matchup. I think I'd rather have Thrun or Shifting Ceratops. I think something like this is pretty good. Ramanap can still be okay, especially after a Ruination. Sentinel, Swords to Plowshares for Stoneforge. Oof is interesting, but I don't think I want that. A lot of their Stoneforge targets are going to be Batterskull and Caldra, so I think this is fine. Could see Blaststone coming out, but don't want to drop too hard on lands. This is a tough one because it has the Dried Arbor, which is awkward, and it doesn't have any real lands other than the onces, but that's pretty nice hands otherwise. But it's tough because this once has to take a land. This once pretty much has to find a land as well, and I need a land to be able to cast it. So actually I'm going to mulligan this. This is pretty tough as well, but what can you do? Especially against a deck that we know has Swords to Plowshares and Ruination. Like, turn 1, Savannah for Dried Arbor. We lose the Dried Arbor. Cradle doesn't have her mana. We're down to 1 land. I think there's a better 5. I I guess we keep... put back these two. But tough. Not where I want to be. Really want to have at least 3 lands in like a good opening. Okay, got pretty lucky there. We're going to go for Thalia. I do want to try to bait out some sort of removal spell on this. It also taxes them quite well while they're tapped out. They're actually just going to force it, so pretty happy to see that. Kept in Force Negation, which is interesting. Not a great card against Maverick. I think here we're just going to get Sword of Fire and Ice. It's something we can play, and it makes other creatures pretty good. I could also get Lion Sash. Sash is pretty interesting. I like the Sword of Fire and Ice, though, potentially puts us in a world where we can get some card advantage back, so I don't mind that. Teferi would suck here. Ah, True Name's not too bad. We don't actually have an out to that, which is pretty funny. I'm gonna hold up the Endurance here. I could have played it in my turn to play around Snap on Swords to Plowshares. Hopefully that doesn't come up. Oh wow, they didn't. Okay. Land is pretty nice. I did not expect this to happen. Wow. It also hits? Well, that's pretty sweet. Wow, no end of turn like Hull Breacher or something? Nothing. This has to be like Prismatic Ending or... Oh, Batterskull. That's pretty annoying, especially on the True Name. So I could try to like Once Upon a Time here for... Outland Liberator, but that's really it. I think I'd rather just try to jam, and if they want to equip Batterskull on the True Name, that's fine. Play Sentinel first, so that if they have removal spell here... I do want to get through it and draw a card here, so I am going to Swords. And I actually don't mind Swords on Esper Sentinel. I assume next turn we just see Batterskull on True Name. Could also try to once here for Outland Liberator. I don't mind that. Have we played a land this turn? No, so I could also take an extra draw. Yeah, so 3 plus 4 is 7. So 2 hits from True Name is 14. So I can potentially live by swordsing my own creature, which means I don't want to take the canopy hit going to 9, because then by swordsing my creature I go to 14, which is lethal, so I think I just hold up drawing a card. Alright. Okay, that's Outland Liberator. Just gonna swords my creature now. And blow up Batterskull before anything happens. Not too bad as we still have Dried Arbor on Swords to Plowshares. But now it's awkward because the fetch land is actually lethal because of the True Name, so we have to draw pretty well here. That's gonna do it. Tough. We'll see you in round 2. Hey team, welcome back to round 2. We are on the draw with a pretty nice hand. We have removal, we have acceleration, we have a threat, and pretty decent mana with once, so pretty happy to keep this. Saga. Ornithopter. Okay. This could be a number of things. Wasteland would be really nice off this once. No Wasteland, but we do find some fetch lands. This means they must have either Ancient Tomb or Land Mox Opal. Ah. Interesting. I wonder if this is going to be Legacy Hammer. I think here I just want to play out the knight. It does turn on like Pith Needle off the Saga, but we do have Blast Zone for that. Be interesting to see what they get here off the Saga. Potentially even like a Shadow Spear. Could be a graveyard piece. Paradise Mantle. Okay, it is going to be a hammer deck. Thankfully, Hammer tends to play Source to Plowshares in the sideboard, so not too much interaction for the knight other than something like Pithy Needle. No great blocks here, so we're going to allow this. Okay, so they have instant speed Hammer. Wow, own Sentinel. How do I want to play this out? If I play the zone, I lose my own Hierarch, but they lose Sentinel, Aid, and Foundry, which is pretty huge. The Knight also becomes a 5/5, which is nice. I don't mind that at this stage of the game. They're also in a tricky spot now because of the zone, which is quite nice. Happy to block. And before damage, pop this, which makes this a 5/5. Oh, they have swords. Okay. Not sure why they didn't just swords before blocks. So swords here is quite nice because it also turns off the Mox Opal. Oh, they're playing Force? Didn't expect that. Did not expect that. Just gonna go for Kaldra here. Make them have another swords. They have one card in hand. Now we're in a pretty nice spot. Okay. This is fine, especially seeing that we have the Jide most likely next turn with a land off the top. Will they get their own Kaldra? Alright, game on. Nice. Just in case of like Force blue card Kaldra in hand. All right. Force of Vigors, Boof. I don't mind the extra parts, but let's see what we take out. probably king here, just a little bit too slow. The Thalias I could also see coming down to just one. Wilson can probably also come out here, just not really what I want to be doing. Sentinels are interesting, but I could just see Sentinels being cut for the paths and just keeping the rest. I don't mind that. I think that's all pretty strong. I think the Force of Vigors are the big card, and also Collector Oof to some extent, but yeah, really, really nice. This hand is probably okay. It doesn't have a green source, but we do have a draw and a once, so I'm happy to keep this. A little bit risky, let's be honest, but Force of Vigor in the opening hand is just too good to pass up. Artifact land, indestructible. Alright. Go for once. Ooh. Now that's pretty funny. Very lucky. We're just gonna ramp here. Savannah, Green Suns for Dried Arbor. This allows us next turn to Swords and also Stoneforge if needed. I actually like just playing Knight here. We also have access to hardcast Force of Vigor next turn. Containment Priest is okay. Okay, so they're going to make a construct this turn, unless they also have something else. Okay. They go for Hammer. How much damage can we do here? I really want to hold up this Force of Vigor most likely for the Saga and Den. Could also just take out Saga and Den right now. Could also Stoneforge for Jide, have 2 mana left over, or 1 mana, and Dried Arbor, and then sack a Savannah for Cradle, and we'll have 3 creatures plus the Caracas mana, which is 4 mana, for play Jide, equip Jide, swing with Jide. Fair few options. Don't mind just holding up Force and also Swords. Yeah. See what they do with the mana first. They're just gonna float. You know what? You can have this. I don't mind this. Guess I'd also access to Wasteland. A lot of options here. But at least if they have like Pith Needle here, we have the Force of Vigor for it. Let's get another hammer. Okay. One, two, three, four. Okay, cool. So we have Hardcast Force here with also swords and hearth if needed. Aid's gonna be fine. They have 2 cards left. Pure Steel with 1 card left, which is Hammer in hand. They will be able to equip here. But again, that's probably fine. Let's... start with Cradle. I mean, Blast Zone's also quite nice, but I think we can Blast Zone next turn. I think here I want to force the Aid and the Den. And then we just have Swords or Path for the other 2 creatures that they try to equip and swing with. So they need Metalcraft, and they currently have 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess 5 with the Hammer in hand, so we can't actually take them off Metalcraft unless we hit Den and Hammer, and then Swords this. No, because then they still have the Sagada's Aid. I think I'm just going to start with these 2. I think this works out just fine. Endurance. Alright, so we have access to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mana, which is enough for Stoneforge. Pretty sweet. Actually, here I can Stoneforge for Jide and then also hold up Path. Alright. Pretty cool to get down. I think everything just kind of worked together pretty well, and we're on the board, which is even better. So hey, we'll see you in round 3. Hey team, we're on the play with a hand that is pretty nice. Obviously a little bit awkward if the Noble Hierarch goes, but I think I'm pretty happy to keep this in the blind. Double Forest is a little bit awkward, but we'll see. Opponent goes to 6. Okay. Okay. Interesting. This is going to be Enchantress, potentially? So, I think we're just going to try to jam and race with Cauldra complete. This is a matchup where Deafening Silence is quite strong. But typically Snow-Covered Forest into Utopia Sprawl is some kind of Enchantress deck. Could be looking at the new combo with Devoted Druid and Swift Configuration. Tabernacle. Okay. I think here we just put in the Cauldra and then just pay for the Noble Hierarch. This is indestructible, so I don't have to pay for it, which is nice. So I won't pay this, but yeah, so don't pay for this, but pay for this. What just happened there? What happened to the other mana? Did I just... Not too sure what happened there. Hopefully that doesn't get back to bite us, but... That was weird. If you can tell me in chat what just happened, I'd love to know. Oof, it's pretty good. Okay, I think he was going to once for a fetch land. We get there. And then get rid of this Dryad. Probably after they've paid for it though. I don't think I get busted here by allowing him to go to upkeep. Okay. All right. Wasteland's really nice. Honestly, I think here it's just gonna be Wasteland. I don't mind Stoneforge and Noble Hierarch. If this is going to be the Swift configuration deck, I don't mind getting Jitte here just to make sure we have removal. Because at least the Jitte can kill a Heritage Druid in response. We're also getting close to Caldra Complete just equipping to something, which is pretty sweet. All right. Nothing's very good for us. Oh, Blast Zone here would be really nice, actually. So maybe getting this Knight online is something I should be looking to as well. Take them off that. Endurance. I think it is going to be Knight here as the best play. So let's do it like this. Attack for 2. Oh, they have Swords to Plowshares potentially. No. All right. Three, 4, 5 mana. Leyline Binding. Alright. I assume that takes out the Knight here. There's a world where it's not actually worth taking them off the Karakas there because of the mana they have. And it's worth just playing the Jitte. With so much mana and double presence here, it's going to be pretty tough. Yeah, I think maybe going back to it, instead of the turn we played the Noble and the Stoneforge Mystic, just having a bit more of a thought about Knight would have been best, because going for Knight into Blast Zone would have been very, very strong. But at least we have 3 Deafening Silence and 3 Force of Vigor coming in. It's pretty sweet. Just want to see a little bit more from this deck, but I assume they hardcast Emrakul potentially. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pretty close to it. Yeah, and then the Sanctum. Alright. I do like the Stoneforge Mystic package, and I don't mind the Jide as a just in case. The Wilson, the King, probably the Endurances. Wances are still okay. We obviously like Forces. I could see the Batterskull coming out for the Sword, as it's just a little bit harder hitting. This seems pretty good. One more card. It's probably the Ramanap. Although Ramanap getting back Blast Zone could be a thing. Liberator's great. Thalia's still good. I could see A-Swords coming out. Yeah. But really want one of these in my opening hand. We don't have that, but we do have Esper Sentinel into Thalia. And then a way to actually get the sword out fast through Cradle. So I actually don't mind this. It's probably the one hand I'd keep that doesn't have either Deafening Silence or Force of Vigor, because we have a lot of ways to draw into it. I think getting down Cradle this turn is fine. Caracas is a little bit annoying, but we do have the Wasteland for it, which is nice. Guess we start with attacks with both. Wasteland Caracas. I guess we can add 2 mana here. Yeah, which is actually quite nice. And now we get to play the Noble and the Thalia. Nice, that actually worked out really well. Then next time we have 3, 4, 5, 6 mana for the sword. But extra lands isn't really what I want here. Not just yet. Not just yet. Let's go 2, 3, 4. I could go and get Dried Arbor here, which will allow me to go 3 for 5. That also gives me a creature that sticks around through Blast Zone. I think next turn I just have to Blast Zone after combat, because I think my opponent's having a big turn here. Oof, but yeah, just lands off the top are not what I want. I really want to be able to find a Deafening Silence or a Force of Vigor. As long as you control 7 more enchantments, creatures you control have flying and vigilance. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, create a white spirit token. That's okay. Interesting. I currently have Wolf and Leyline Binding. Nice. So I guess we need 3 for this. So 1, 2, 3. If I play out the Thalia, we then have 3 mana off this with 1 left over. So I can attack with Dried Arbor here. Actually, I don't even... I don't need to play Thalia because I get 1 back from this. So in that case... One, 2, 3. I mean, maybe the hand was just too slow. Maybe I should have, like, mulliganed to a hand that was Deafening Silence or Force of Vigor. But I thought that Sentinel into Thalia with a sword is pretty good. It just, you know, you're a deck that doesn't play cantrips, so you don't have control over the top of your deck. And unfortunately, it just didn't pan out. But that's why we love the game. I think this is just gonna be too good, because even if we draw Force of Vigor to pitch to the once, it just goes too wide. There's nothing really that once finds that is that great, so I think we have nothing. That's gonna be it. Tough. We'll see you in round 4. Hey team, back for round 4. This opening hand isn't too bad. We kind of want to find a mana dork off this once. It's kind of a 6 with the Batterskull, so I'm happy to keep this. But at least we have 2 lands to cast the Thalia, and then Cradle for the Knight. Just an island. Interesting. This can be a daze? Okay. That is more than fine. Daze, Brainstorm, Basic Island. Doesn't give us too much information. Tundra. Sentinel. Okay. Another fetch would be kind of cool. Get 2 basics. Caldra is not what I want. I'm gonna play the Caracas. Just go for Savannah. Thalia are out. The only upside of having these 2 in my opening hand is that it makes Stoneforge for Jide off the top less likely to be hit by another removal spell, but you never know. You don't often get to wasteland these decks, so if this Knight untaps, I'd be pretty happy to go after that Tundra. I'm going to assume this is some sort of Stoneblade deck. I think if I draw a fetch, I'll play it, because it holds up Dried Arbor to take out this Esper Sentinel. Green Suns. Okay. I actually don't mind here, just going for Wilson. little bit tough they get to draw a card, but not too much we can do about that. Does ward counter? Yeah, okay. Chose to not shuffle. No great attacks. Ooh, that's pretty nice. I am gonna start with that. This is nice as well because we get to get Jide then played off the cradle. I will pay for that. Yeah, kind of a free attack here as well with the Wilson. Oh, it's good vigilance, of course. Nice. Haha, I knew that. We all knew that. Chat, come on. Oof, other swords. Murktide? Yikes. Two cards left for my opponent. Green Suns. 1, 2. Nothing great to Green Suns for, honestly. Noble to get mana going for this Batterskull. Yeah, we're just getting pummeled here. It's probably a bit too slow. Obviously the Kaldra is kind of a dead draw, but the 6 with the Batterskull is just something we knew was coming anyway, so... They could just play like another Murktide here. DRC, okay. Take 8, and take another 8. Guess I could block and then return, but that's not great either. Doesn't do a whole lot here. I think we're better off just going 3, 4, 5. Yeah, and then force blue card. Tough. Kaldra can come out, the king, Just hasn't been that impressive, sadly. Lion Sash is probably good. Endurance, Shifting, Thrun, Sword. Liberator can probably come out. Blast Zone's good. Canopy, Wasteland seems fine. I could see Knight coming down. Wilson probably coming out. I think just because we have so much removal that there's just better things, but we'll see how it goes for testing purposes. Don't mind Batterskull still. Don't want to go overboard though. Maybe it's a case of even like the once, just like it was worth playing a land first. If I'm looking for a Noble Hierarch, there's no reason not to play a land. Could just take out the fluff of Once Upon a Times. We still have 23 lands, which is quite nice. Go down on like one. Probably one Stoneforge. I actually don't mind that because we're taking out one Kaldra. Yeah, I'll keep this. Pretty happy just to lead on probably Plains. Hold up Swords. If he gets dazed, we can hopefully just Stoneforge. I'm gonna go for Sword of Fire and Ice here. I could go for Lion Sash. I actually like Sash. I think Sash is pretty sweet. I haven't played around with it too much, and I think this is a pretty nice matchup for it. Especially on a slower draw by them. I want to see like a Volk here that we can Wasteland. 100's not too bad. It's actually pretty nice. They didn't have a daze before, so I don't mind seeing if Thalia sticks. Forcing it. Opponent thinking about the card they want to pitch. Expressive Iteration, that's a huge win. Oh, baby. I don't mind leaving them with a plateau, because it doesn't really achieve too much. I'd rather keep going after their blue sources. And I don't want to show the wasteland yet either. It's a pretty good target. Okay. Don't really care about that. Just gonna go for a basic here. Into Night, and then next turn we can play the Ramanap Gaddock Wasteland. They only have one card left as well. Cool to see Jeskai. Haven't run into too much Jeskai online. Most decks you see with these sort of creatures are going to be just straight blue-red. But always cool to see people trying out new things. And hey, if you've made it this far, a huge thank you. It really means a lot that you watch my content, and I hope you enjoy it. No shuffle effect. Ooh, that's pretty nice. I'm going after your lands. Yeah, pretty tough for them with no shuffle off that Brainstorm. Do I want to change anything? Not really. Interesting to see the Stony Silence, but I just think I just have to not really care about it, and if they hit it, they hit it. I could move away from the equipment package. That'd be kind of interesting. Just have 2 Stone Forge with Batterskull, but like, I don't think Liberator is worth it. Like, I wouldn't mind bringing back the Once Upon a Times. I guess we do a Blast Zone to get rid of it if really needed, so yeah. No changes. I don't mind this hand. Has some acceleration. Turn 1, turn 2 plays, basics. It's obviously quite poor against a fast creature start from them. Like, I want to see like a Ponder here. Not that. Happy to go for basics early on. Also, if they were to attack, I wouldn't trade. Especially with the Thalia as well. You're in a pretty nice position. And this costing 2 is more than fine. It didn't daze a Sentinel, so I assume they didn't have daze for the Thalia there, which is nice. Two mana Ponder is more than okay. It's a long Ponder, so I assume they... Oh, they chose to shuffle. Okay. Come on, removal spell. Mm-mm. I'm not going to attack here either. I don't think the 2 points is better than holding back a blocker if they have a removal spell for either one of these. I guess the Remnant. This is a pretty perfect board for Knight and Blast Zone. Just got to live long enough to get there. I guess Outland Liberator does deal with Esper Sentinel. That could be a reason that it's not the worst. And probably actually a reason to keep it in. It is nice as well to have a Green Sun's target that can deal with Stony Silence. No shuffle off the Brainstorm, so maybe we see a Ponder here. Shredder, okay. Oof. That's pretty huge. Next turn it might just be Green Suns for Endurance and allow them to have the card draw off Sentinel. They're going to start with Iteration. Okay. Could be Swords, could be Murktide. It's probably one of those two. Probably off another Volk. Sorry, off another Tundra, if they have one. Mystic Sanctuary. Okay. It's gonna be fine. Probably just getting back in iteration. Yeah, sure. No attacks. Bit of a dead draw. Yeah, I think here it's just give them a... I think I'll play the Canopy, just to have that in play next turn to draw a card. I don't mind drawing now. And then Green Suns for Noble Hierarch. No. I think it is just Green Suns for Endurance. Paying Thalia's tax and then also allowing them to draw a card. I don't mind swinging this turn with the Ceratops. It's got pro blue, so it can't be double blocked, which is nice. Well, it can, but it can't be killed. Endurance, just such a quality card. Big fan of it. I also like getting some sort of value off shifting Ceratops before it ultimately gets Swords to Plowshed. Yeah, like I would like some sort of way to generate more card advantage in this deck. Probably wouldn't keep in Sylvan Library against Jeskai, Delver, or Jeskai DRC or Murktide, but yeah, some way to like make sure I can draw into my removal spells. Because there are still 7, 3 Path and 3 Swords in the deck. Also 4 Wastelands, which would be really strong with the Ramanap. At least if they iteration here, they can't also Swords to Plowshares, which is pretty nice. Currently have instant land in the bin. Oh, choke right now? Yes, please. Well, it just shows it's pretty cool. I think it's kind of falling off, but I could be wrong. I mean, Delver's already got so many good value creatures that it's tough to fit them all in, as well as enough instant sorceries to kind of go with the rest of the deck. Looks like most decks are running between like 12 to 14 creatures. Ugh. Okay, that's something. Again, I don't mind just attacking with the shifting Ceratops again. Also still know about that daze, so... I will draw here. We find like a Noble Hierarch, I just want to cast it. Another land, isn't it? Okay. Opponent also like nearly 15 minutes down on me, which is pretty funny. Murktide's fine. Maybe I was supposed to upkeep Endurance Pitch. I guess we'll never know. I was also thinking about Endurance triggering both Esper Sentinel and then Daze, so I didn't actually play it, but Endurance doesn't get triggered by Esper Sentinel, so I think last turn there was also a line where I just cast the Endurance. Get 2 draws here for removal. Okay, it's pretty good. Two cards left for my opponent. I don't mind starting off with attacking with the shifting Ceratops. So we still have Path and Endurance. Question is, do I want to allow them to untap? I don't think I do. I'm actually just going to hold here. Pass with Path open. Okay. Just want to do this now. Pretty sure that last card is Days. Just trying to think about what I actually care about and if I want to endurance here, but I don't think I need to. I think I can endurance on my turn. Or at least after the Surveil trigger. Brainstorm into the bin is fine. Chose to shuffle. Good for us. Nothing we can do here, so we just gain the 5. They have 1 card left. They have to attack with the DRC, so we can actually allow them to attack and then endurance them and then block, which is quite nice. Attack with both. I guess I could have, maybe no, I can't Green Suns for Outland Liberator and destroy one because it's here. But this is fine. I think we just go for Wilson. Actually, I can go for a endurance, which plays around and still plays around Days. But kind of scary, like a bounce spell does it here. Maybe Wilson's better because of the Ward 2. I want to see Shredder. Okay, pretty good for us. Which is still tough because like they attack with both for lethal. We block one, we chump block one. We still have 2 lethal threats going back. Okay. It's pretty good. Path 1. Draw. Okay. Attack with all. We still have lethal. Don't think they have it out with one card. Nice. We get there. We even beat them before time, which is really nice. So, very cool to see. We'll see you in round 4. That was a bit of a grind. Hey team, welcome back to round 5. An interesting hand. Look, I wouldn't blink at anyone who would keep this, but I think because of things like Noble Hierarch, Mana Acceleration through Green Suns, Thalias, we have a lot better openings than turn 2 Stoneforge, and then potentially just hold up Stoneforge, and then maybe these down the line. I'm a big fan of having an early game with Mav, and this isn't what I'm looking for, although a decent hand in the blind. This is better. It obviously relies heavily on this once, but I'm going to keep it bottom the Cauldra and hope. Look, never didn't have it. Windswept, fetch, gonna get a Savannah, which lines up turn 1 Dried Arbor, turn 2 Thalia and Wasteland. A little bit awkward if we get like a forest there, because we have no white mana, but and is still pretty strong. A little bit of everything for any matchup. Ooh, Wasteland. Okay. Aggressive. Nice. Pretty happy just to get another Savannah. Lay out Thalia. Land off the top there was huge. Not gonna lie. But Wasteland itself doesn't give away too much. Maze of it. Okay, we're up against lands. And we also have a great hand for lands, which is nice. No point attacking here. This was a really nice, I believe, Judge foil in paper. Always wanted to get one. Kind of one of those foil cards that I think looks really, really well done. Alright, now my opponent has access... Oh, they don't actually have access to crop rotation because of Thalia. The land here is just perfect because it means we can Wasteland the Maze, get in for 8, and hold up Endurance. Okay, this is fine, as it really only takes away some damage. I mean, they lose a crop rotation and an endurance that down the line could be really good. It tells me that the hand is quite weak and they really need to buy some time. But even so, we currently have 5 in play. The endurance will make it 8. So, a 2-turn clock. Ooh, Volcanic Island. I didn't expect Volcanic Island. So this is some sort of rug lands? The Maze of Ith has put me off. Saga, okay. Interesting. Soul Guide. That's fine. I probably should know what this is, but I'm just not too sure what it is. Wow, okay. I think we're just going to cast another Endurance. Wasteland the Saga potential. I think it will be Wasteland Saga. Although they have to have a soul land to turn it on. I actually like going after the Volk. They're going to lose the Saga anyway. Yeah, it's a tough spot for them. Okay. I'm really not too sure what to do here. I obviously like the Force Figures and the Endurance, but I think I'm just going to bring in those and then... Yeah, be pretty open to see what this is. Probably the King here doesn't line up too well. I do think King has a metagame where it's relevant. Against a little like neg1 effects could be pretty strong. And if you do want to have a creature that powers out other creatures, but it's tough because 5 mana is a lot for a 1/1 soldier. And if you are returning it with Karakas to save it, then you're losing the counters that it gets each time you do that. I don't mind going down to 1 Thalia and probably the Wilson. Lion Sash is pretty interesting. Maybe that's better than Chite. Yeah, Maze of Ith. Volcanic Island. Cards I don't usually see together. This is a great hand. Really nice. Access to basics if needed. Once Force. Really cool. Okay. Pretty happy with the Ramen up here. And then probably pretty happy just with the Noble. Try to get a little bit more value with this Force of Vigor. Okay. Nothing great to beat the hamster. Turn 2 Minsk is obviously just very powerful. Kinda needs to be Karakas or bust here. I honestly think we just lose to Minsk. It's that easy. Guess today's kind of nice for the boo. So that's a potential play. All right. Doesn't do enough. Knowing about Boo, I like taking out the Batterskull. I don't mind the extra parts, just because of Uro as well. Could see the Esper Sentinels coming out. Maybe just one more Thalia on the play. No. Like, Dried Arbor with... I guess we have Force of Vigor Dried Arbor. And turn 2, we could either Thalia or Green Suns. I think there's a better hand. This is better. Keep this bottom 1 Endurance. Go for Savannah into Dried Arbor. And it kept 7. Just let me get a 3-drop into play and I'll be very happy. Okay. Wow, really explosive start. I think here we just have to Endurance, take out the Loam. Pass back. Kind of want to draw into a 2-drop next turn so we can have a play, because Wasteland's nice, but not the greatest with nothing else in play. Oh, another Loam? Yikes. Okay. I think with the Loam, though, we just have to play Knight. It's tough because the Saga... Huh. Yeah, honestly, I think Knight as just a big threat is fine. Even if they get Needle off this. Or something like Soul Guide Lantern. See what they Loam here. Wasteland Maze, Wooded Foothills. Pretty good. guess next turn I have Jedi attack, which is kind of cool. I guess no, because the knight will name. I guess the needle will name knight, not wasteland. Okay. Fetch land's pretty nice here, as it allows us to attack with both creatures here. Could get Line Sash, but I like that Kaldra just allows us to go kind of wide on this board. I think the role of the Ramanap in hand is just being a green card for Force of Vigor. Hey Ash, thanks for the follow on YouTube, which does show up while I'm recording. The land there is also nice, because it means next time we can Ramanap get back Wasteland to Wasteland the Maze of Ith. They loam Otawaru, which is interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4 mana currently. Feeling pretty good because we have Ramanap into Wasteland, take out Maze. They can create a blocker, but like it's not, doesn't line up too well. They could Otawara this, but then that's the whole turn as well, and then we still have a play. Unless they have, I'm not too sure what they could have. Surgical Wasteland, potentially? Yeah, this is still fine. Not sure what that does. Tapped out. This is more than enough. I think they can go to 1 if they have an endurance green card. Yeah, nice. Alright, we also get a chest, which is kind of cool. See what's in the old chest? Nothing great. Stormherd Primal Beyond. Decklist. I did like the Stoneforge Mystic package in this, but I did feel a little bit naked at times when getting things like Kaldra or Batterskull. It's tough because Sentinel's nice because it kind of takes the role of Mum and also Sylvan Library to some extent, in that it's a way to draw extra cards. But I do feel like I really want even I guess Sylvan Safekeeper doesn't cut it, because you really want to have that turn 1 Mum, turn 2 Stoneforge, or turn 1 Mum, turn 2 Thalia. So you could say that the deck already has card advantage with the Stoneforge creatures. But if you take out the Sentinels and add in 3 Mums, then I feel a little bit better here. And then if you really want a way to get some card traction going, you could go with Tireless Tracker over the King. I think that, yeah, the King is a tough one to evaluate, because it's a 3-drop where other creatures you control get +1/+1, which is nice, but against something like, let's say, End the Festivities, probably comes down before you get King Darien online. And if you are up against Blue Red Delver, it's pretty tough to Green Suns for this instead of something like Endurance, because they probably have a board with a flyer in play. The sack, if you have the creature tokens in play, is nice as well, but you're probably in a great position if you have those artifacts in play already. And I'm not a big fan of its activated ability because of how much it is. Like, 5 mana is a lot. I don't think I'm going to be holding up 5 mana to make this a 3/4 and get a 1/1 creature token. But it's close. Like, I would like to have a creature in the deck that allows me to pump some mana into, but I guess Tiles Tracker does that as well by allowing us to draw cards off it, which is pretty nice, especially in matchups where Knight isn't the go-to. Like, I wouldn't mind that sort of trade. And then I didn't mind the Shifting Ceratops. I think the Thrun I could take out. I could also see like the Batterskull being switched with the Sword of Fire and Ice, and just having the sword as well as another way to gain card advantage. And then maybe even just dropping the Batterskull and not worrying about the life gain, just having Jide for that. And then I think potentially some amount of graveyard hate in the board, something like Surgical, just something that's free, quite snappy. I wouldn't mind that. But otherwise, the deck list was really nice, and it was great to find like a bit of room for it. I could see like potentially Oof, or maybe even like another. Yeah, like Gaddock Teeg wouldn't be too bad, especially in a deck that isn't playing Prismatic Ending. I don't mind Teeg these days. Also, just a nice card against things like Elves, especially with protection through Mother of Runes. So, yeah, a few things to evaluate. Big thanks to Joe for sending it through. Always a big fan to try out new cards. Like, I think it's very easy to, say that Wilson isn't good enough, but there's definitely a world where you can kind of build around it in a shell that isn't specifically built with poor cards. So, yeah. If you guys like this content, definitely consider subscribing to the channel, liking the video, leaving a comment, and yeah, big thanks to Joe again. Really cool to see how this went. And looking forward to kind of building on it. I think there's a lot of room for Green-White Maverick in Legacy, at least the leagues. So yeah, really cool to play it through. Cheers.